Yeah, driving on the left side of the road. He hasn't been drinking. Idiot. We're at our garage and test facility. Let's see what we're rolling out today. It's pretty windy outside. Gonna be kind of hard to do a video. We'll see what happens. This wind is killing me. 35 miles per hour plus, they say. Well, we'll do the best we can. Looks like we got ourselves a 2021 Kia Telluride. I think I'm pronouncing that correct. Last year we had a 2020 Telluride. I really loved the vehicle, and so did consumers. They went down to the dealer, couldn't find any in stock, and when they did, they were like charging $5,000 over sticker. So you know they did something right. In fact, Consumer Reports rate it 97 out of 100. I think that's the highest rating they've ever done. Impressive. So for 2021, let's take a closer look. And a couple of weeks ago, we also test drove the 2021 Kia Sorento X-Line SUV. We'll have a link to that video at the end of this video. Just click and watch. And if you like Korean vehicles, we also drove the 2021 Genesis GV80 SUV. That was a real nice one. We'll have a link for that one too at the end of this video. Overall, 430 videos to watch. Also have a Patreon account for those who want to donate some gas money. I'm becoming poor driving all these vehicles. The first thing I want to do when I get a vehicle is check the rear area and see if there's a spare tire. You won't find one here because the third row seats take up all the room. However, if we go underneath the vehicle, yes, there's a spare tire underneath. It means if you get a flat, you have to crawl under there and get dirty. But at least it's better to have one than not have one. And the second thing we want to do is take the headlights out in the dark and see how they perform. So let's do that little chore right now. It's dark enough. Let's take these headlights out and see what they do. And here we have the low beams on a wall 100 feet away. Very bright, good height, widespread. And the white blob you see down there is not a UFO, it's the heads-up display. I don't like those things, so I'm going to find a way to turn this off. And here we have the brights on a fence 80 yards away and a building 130 yards away. Very bright. Go low beam, reaches out. Put the vehicle in reverse. Here's what the rear view camera looks like. Kind of grainy, I think, for a modern vehicle. Maybe it needs some adjustment. Under the hood, only one engine is offered, a 3.8 liter V6, putting out 291 horsepower, with an 8-speed automatic transmission. This vehicle is available in front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, and this has the all-wheel drive, so fuel economy is rated at 19 in the city and 24 on the highway. We'll be taking this out to see if that's really true. Let's take a look at the cabin. We'll go with the positive features first. And my favorite, we get simple controls and knobs and switches instead of having to scroll through an info screen for doing things like the climate control settings. Climate control, simple buttons and knobs. Air conditioned seats, heated seats, simple switch. All of your charger plug-ins right up front where they belong. And I say this because in many Korean cars, you don't get a 12-volt outlet on the front. They usually put them in the second row where they can't be reached, which is kind of stupid, but here they did it right. A well-designed gauge cluster. Very simple, easy to see. Here's the drive mode control: comfort, sport, smart, eco, snow, and locking differential for off-roading. And it tells you what mode you're in on the gauge cluster as well. We already saw the camera system at night. Here's what it looks like in the daytime. Very nice. And going back to the gauge cluster for the third time, There are cameras in the outside mirrors, so when you turn on the turn signal, you'll see what's on your left. I'm not moving at the moment, I'm in a parking lot. And turn on your right turn signal, you'll see what's on your right. Nice design, comes in very handy. The glove box isn't the largest I've ever seen, but more than adequate for size, and you have lots of room if you take the owner's manuals out and put them somewhere else. A few things I don't like, starting with this fake wood. So it looks like in the sun, what it looks like in the shade. It looks fake either way. I hope this isn't real wood, because it certainly doesn't look it. This isn't 1960s, people. This shouldn't be in here. No big deal, but I'm just saying. I do like the fact that the doors come all the way down to the bottom of the frame, and it keeps the rocker panels clean. No mud, snow, or sleet's going to get on here and get on your pants. That's the positive side. However, look out for this door edge. It's sharp. Sometimes it's easy to catch it on your leg, and it doesn't feel good when it happens. And the Kia dealers have been advertising this as an 8-passenger. Well, let's see. We got 2 seats in the front, 2 seats in the second row that can be folded, as we can see. That's 4 passengers thus far, and we have the third row seating. I guess we could count 3, put little monkeys in here, but for adults, I think this is really intended for 2. Let's say 6 or 7 passengers, but I don't know how they're figuring 8. Someone told me there's a bench seat option. If you find one that does have a bench seat, I guess we could stretch it out to 8 passengers, but again, you have to put little people in the back third row seats. Last year, the Telluride ahead had a beautiful light tan leather interior. It was really sweet looking. This, as you can see, has the black leather, and it just doesn't do justice to the vehicle. Looks very, very drab, like a taxi cab. Check out the tan leather if you can. I think you might like it better. But otherwise, this is a very well-designed cabin, and I don't really have any serious complaints. Aside from the fake wood, but that's no big deal. Certainly not a deal killer. Oh yeah, we get map pockets on both seats. Another point or 2. Let's get to the price. And the base fee is $32,000. This is loaded up with everything, so it's $48,720. Certainly a good deal. I do find it rather insulting they're charging us an extra $210 for carpeted floor mats and $155 for a carpeted rear cargo area mat. I mean, come on. Shouldn't this be standard? I don't understand why car manufacturers do this nonsense. First half of the video show and tell is over. Let's take this out and do some driving. And while the base Kia Tellurides come with 18-inch and 19-inch wheels, this has the top-of-the-line 20-inchers, part of a luxury package. The ride quality of the 20-inch wheels will be slightly different than the 19 and 18-inch wheels, but to find out how this one does, let's take some mild speed humps at 20 miles per hour, as we do in all of our videos. Maybe run over these pedestrians down here that are in our way. That was bump number 1 there. Pretty smooth. Bump number 2. Didn't feel a thing. I do have this in the comfort mode, by the way. Bump number 3. And the big nasty one coming up. Hang on. Still didn't feel a thing. Smooth riding vehicle. And the power steering feel and feedback is absolutely excellent, regardless of what mode the vehicle is put in. No complaints from me. Just a note here, I'm sick and tired of these plastic covers that manufacturers put on the gauge clusters. Why? You go outside at certain angles of the day, certain angles of the sun, you get this total washout. It doesn't happen all the time. In fact, it only happens maybe 5% of the time. They need to stop doing this. A minor complaint. not a deal killer. In city driving, I've been getting 16.5 miles to the gallon, mixed commuting 18. In all fairness, I had the air conditioning running full blast and was a bit heavy on the throttle. So let's take a freeway trip and see what the numbers say then. I was going to take a 100-mile highway trip, but the freeway's closed. I have to get off, so let's see what economy we got on the computer meter for the short trip we took. Here we go with the sun glare again. They need to get rid of these plastic covers. You're listening, Kia, and about 10 other manufacturers. It was only 25 miles, but cruising at 70 to 75, 25.4. Pretty decent. This is a very comfortable vehicle to drive. While this engine isn't the most powerful motor I've ever used, the horsepower is more than adequate. Any larger or any more horsepower and you'd lose more fuel economy, and you wouldn't want that. The 8-speed automatic transmission shifts quite well. No complaints from me. Yeah, driving on the left side of the road. He hasn't been drinking. Idiot. I was going to show you how great this vehicle handles, but this drunk hillbilly who's driving in both lanes is blocking my way, so can't do that. Maybe later in the video, or after he crashes around this next corner. Well, since the freeway was closed, I won't be able to take the off-roading area I wanted. Have to settle for flat dirt. Better than nothing. This vehicle is doing an excellent job of absorbing the impacts on this nasty washboard road. Especially in the sport mode I have it in now, as well as the locking differential. So don't slide off the road in the sand. Key would get a bit upset if I did that. Nice building, except these aren't chips, these are bullet holes. That's about a 30 caliber right there. At least a 30 caliber. Ooh, 50 caliber. Ooh. And they're usually 22 caliber bullet holes. Some people have no respect for anything. This vehicle has decent ground clearance, but it's also long. So you have to use caution when going on rough trails, especially in deep dips. It's reasonably capable. More capable than this stone fool who lost his entire exhaust system. Oh, I could say something, but I won't. Well, let's continue on. Time to get back to town and wrap up this video. So what's my take on this Kia after a week of driving? Well, what can I say? They did good. There's really nothing to complain about. And you go down to the dealer, they're still hard to find, and forget about getting a discount. There's a reason for that. A very good choice. Here's some links to other Korean SUVs we've driven. Just click and watch.